Quando sono sola sogno l'orizzonte e mancano le parole. Sì, lo son che non c'è luce, una stanza manca il sole. Se non ci sei, tu con me, su le finestre, mostra il tutto il mio cuore che hai acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Well, when I was growing up, I was very interested in music and theater. I didn't necessarily think it was going to be a career because my parents were very, they just are very grounded. So they kind of were like, well, you know, that's a very hard life path, you know, and encouraged me to be a doctor instead because I wanted to be a veterinarian, which didn't work out because I'm terrible at math. So I auditioned for the Juilliard School, and you know, when the Juilliard School says yes, you go. So I came and I studied classical music, and I kind of realized early on that I didn't want to be an opera singer. So when I graduated, I wanted to pursue musical theater because I thought that would kind of marry both sides of what I loved about performing. And it was much more difficult than I anticipated. And you know, I became, you know, the cliche that I was auditioning, and I had a good agent, but I was auditioning and not getting any work, and I was living on the very expensive Upper West Side, and I was working 4 and 5 jobs and still not really cutting it. So I started working in all these, a couple of these bars that have live music late at night, and so I said, well, if I can't sing, I'll be somewhere I can listen to it, and which was actually kind of depressing, you know, because you're not doing what you want to do. But one day I asked if I could sing with the bands, and they just thought I was, you know, the cocktail waitress or the bartender, whoever I was at the time, you know. So they said yeah, and the only song I knew was Natural Woman in B flat. So I sang Natural Woman, and so then everybody started asking me to sing Natural Woman, so I sang it every night, you know. And then people said, you know, you really need to learn some more music, you know. So I started learning some more music, and they said, you really need to listen to Nina Simone and Chaka Khan and you know, Donny Hathaway. And so I did, and I was asked to sit in on this funk band and this salsa band, and I started developing this other side of my voice that I had no idea I had because I was just this ingenue soprano. That's what I was. And out of this strife and sadness, and I discovered that this entire other part of me that has become my main passion. So sometimes a hobby or an obstacle becomes what your whole career is centered around, your whole life is centered around. You know, it becomes a passion. When I first get a song, I'm a musician first, so I come at it as a musician. It's always text-based, but I learn the music first, and then I look at how to best phrase the song. In terms of if I add embellishments and you know, riffs and different musical interpretations, those kind of come naturally, and I just listen to where the arrangement's going or where the song's going. But I definitely come at it as a musician first. On stage is different than in the studio. In the studio, it's a different mindset because you're more of a technician, and you have to get across a lot, and no one can see what you're doing. So you really have to be musical. You really have to be committed to interpretation. On stage, it's different because, you know, the challenge there, the hope that we all have, is that we're going to be lucky enough to be given roles that allow us to transform. And it's hard to shed ourselves completely because we always have our quirks and our mannerisms and colloquialisms that are hard to get rid of completely. And part of it, that is the beauty of playing a role, is that there's always a little bit of yourself. I think it's very the romantic nature of the story and of that duet is I relate to it very much, and I think that the music really gets that fervent hopefulness and romanticism. It's very lyrical. I think that it's both songs, Home and I Will Be There, are universal. Home being the idea, you know, how popular The Wizard of Oz and then The Wiz and now Wicked are, you know, and they continue to capture all these young audiences because of the amazing stories and the timeless nature of missing your home and your roots and your family, and that hope and that positive message are timeless. You know, I'm very close to my family, you know, and my parents are still together, and we ate dinner together every night growing up, and so when I sent my mom one of the first roughs of Home to listen to, she cried, and she loves it, and she says she listens to it every day, and so it makes me think of them, and I love that. And I Will Be There, I'm a hopeless romantic, so I definitely, and I haven't found the person that I'm going to spend my life with, so it definitely resonates with me in that way.
Each morning I get up high dialing, can barely stand on my feet. Take a look in the mirror and cry, Lord, what you doing to me? I spent all my years believing you, I just can't get no relief. Lord, somebody, anybody find me somebody to love. She works hard every day of my life. I work till I ache my bones. At the end of the day, I take all my heart and pay all on my own. I get down on my knees and I start to pray till the tears come down from my eyes.
Even when I got, the answer was no every day, and for a while the answer was no every day, I just knew that I had something different, something that had to be heard and had to be seen, and I believed it, even if no one at the time believed it. Because if you don't believe it, if you don't believe in yourself, no one will. No matter how big your team of supporters and people are, you have to believe it. And I did. Even when I was feeling the lowest, I kept saying, no, I just, you know, Fanny Bryson, Funny Girl, has that song, I'm the greatest star, but nobody knows it, you know, and it's kind of one of those things, you really have to believe that. And I did, you know, and also, I think the other thing that kept me going was that I love to sing more than anything. I don't just like to perform and I like the spotlight. I sing all day, every day, when I'm alone, when no one can hear. Always, always, always singing. I get a practice room by myself and I sing every day. And that, it's not something I do, it's not a flight of fancy, you know, it's my whole being is that. So I think I just believed that, and you have to be really patient and really hopeful, you know. The hopeless romantic in me comes about in that way too. That's definitely, it's what keeps you going, you know. It's not for the faint of heart. And you hear people all the time go, it's hard, it's a hard career, you know, if you can do anything else, don't do it. It's so hard because theoretically I'm at the top of my game, you know, I'm in a hit Broadway show, you know, and just the stamina alone, just the 8 shows a week grind is really hard work. So it's not even about how hard it is to get the jobs, which it is. It's so hard to maintain your physical form, and it's so hard to maintain your vocal health. And it's so hard to then, I probably get 50 no's to every 1 yes, still now, you know? And getting 15 callbacks for something, and then not getting the job, and the next day having to go out and audition again, brand new, just starting from scratch. It's about being humble, taking responsibility, and never stop learning. Never stop taking class. Yes, you go through periods where you can't afford class. Okay, well, you become a student of your life, of your character, of who you are becoming as an artist. You have to know from whence it all came. You know, you have to know about art and architecture and why these characters do what they do, and why you like the music you like. How can I say that I want to sing classical music if I don't know where that came from? How can I know that I like, you know, what I want to do with I need to know jazz theory, I need to know classical theory, I need to know what these chords mean and why I'm riffing. You know, it all goes together. You're never done learning. That is the thing I think that I see a lot of people go, well, I'm not where I want to be. And well, you know, you have to take every bit of feedback and use it and put it into who you are, into the machine. You know, none of it is useless. It is all useful.